Now, boys, keep quiet, will you? Quiet, everybody. Quiet, please. The next event, 15 rounds, the World Lightweight Championship. The honors are being produced first to the champion, the popular American Hebrew of Chicago, Barney Ross. Opponent, one whom we'll never forget, our own Tony Canzoneri. George. 135. 133.
There's a new rule clause here. When any boy insists upon holding, I've got the discretion to disqualify. I thoroughly understand that. I know this is going to be a nice clean contest, and I know I'm not going to have any trouble. I want you to play clean, and I want you to break when I tell you to do so. Now, that's all I'm asking of you. Don't shake hands when you come out again.
This is actually one question about holding. You mean that if he got his
I mean when you hold, you hold. There's only one thing.
Exactly.
There's a pressure there, understand? That's holding. Oh.
September 1933, the Polo Grounds in New York. Barney Ross, the reigning world junior welterweight and lightweight champion, making the first defense of his titles here against the challenger, Tony Canzoneri. Canzoneri with the white stripe down his shorts, and Ross a wonderful boxer, not a huge puncher. Ross 2 years younger at 24. Very good record, 46 wins, 14 by knockout, 40 defeats and 2 draws. "15 rounds of boxing, and Tony Canzoneri has got a very checkered history in professional boxing. More of that later, as Ross lands a right. Well, big swinging left hook there from Tony Canzoneri. It's a return contest. They'd fought 3 months previously, and Ross won that on a majority decision. It was in Chicago. Round 2 then, and Barney Ross looked like he fiddled Canzoneri around in the first session. Lands a decent right. Canzoneri Barney Ross about an inch taller. And Canzoneri's record stands at 92 wins, 30 by knockout, 14 losses and 8 draws in 114 outings, 26 years of age. He's a New York native, although born in Slidell, Louisiana. Barney Ross, also a New Yorker, but lives in Chicago. Full house here, expecting this fight to turn out like their previous one, which of course Ross won on points. Tony Canzoneri fought twice for the bantamweight title of the world in 1927 against Bud Taylor, lost on both occasions. Into round 3 we go, and Barney Ross in a very close second round there with Tony Canzoneri, but won the first, I think. Canzoneri's tasted titles himself, former featherweight champion of the world. Made 2 defences before stepping up to lightweight. Barney Ross, such a good technician, good thinker, not a huge puncher. Well, almost ducking in there to an uppercut from Canzoneri. Well, quite a bit of close quarter work from these two men. Well, Barney Ross now managing to slip a lot of those punches from Canzoneri and come back with his own counters. And that's keeping him in front here. Well, Canzoneri now hands down, chin up. That's a dangerous ploy. Into round 4 we go then. Barney Ross in the solid black trunks against Tony Canzoneri. And this a battle for the world lightweight and light welterweight titles, held of course by Barney Ross, who'd beaten Canzoneri previously. Canzoneri, a former world lightweight champion, beat Al Singer back in 1930 on a first round knockout. Also fought for the light welterweight title but got beaten on points, and then came back down to lightweight for this return contest with Ross. Well, Tony Canzoneri now has been reduced to almost slugger stance here. Barney Ross keeping his boxing together. And Canzoneri was very tight in the first round, but he's reverted to tight now. Still a tough man to beat. Once again, Canzoneri really asking for punches to the head here with his hands so low and his chin so high. Can't outbox Ross, he's got to outpunch him if he can. So far a good round this for Barney Ross. So round 5, and Barney Ross looks like he's got a 2 or 3 point lead at this stage. And Tony Canzoneri will never give up. Real strong, fit man. A decent jab there for Ross. And of course these two know all about each other, having fought 3 months previously. Sometimes returns are very disappointing, but this one hasn't been. And Ross proving to be very tricky here for Canzoneri, who's a very straightforward kind of fighter. And once again Ross there controlling the fight behind the left hand. Ross tying Canzoneri up on the inside. Once again a decent jab there for Ross. So round 6, and Ross comes steaming out here to attack Canzoneri. And Barney Ross, a Jewish immigrant family living in Chicago. And they're both bouncing around their toes now here in round 6. They've got their second wind. The previous contest, by the way, for these two titles was a 10-rounder. This is 15. So Ross then looks like he's going to do things the hard way yet again. Nice jab. Canzoneri more experienced, more knockouts on his record. In fact, coming into this, he'd had 114 pro fights, whereas Barney Ross had just 52 in comparison. So Canzoneri then bantamweight title challenger, featherweight champion, lightweight champion, light welterweight title challenger. Here is again back down to lightweight. Looking to pick up these two titles held by Barney Ross. He failed once before. Will he prevail this time? Still rough and tough. Ross, of course, has got science on his side. Very good technical boxer. Round 7 then, both men once again sprint out at each other here. Very fresh in round 6, they finished the round well too. And they both got their eye well and truly in here. Barney Ross, the reigning and defending champion, in these solid black shorts against a very dangerous challenger here in Tony Canzoneri, who's been there and done it at all different weights, from bantam through to light welter. It's a big opportunity for Ross to really put himself on the boxing map. It was a majority decision the first time they met. This time he wants to put it beyond any argument whatsoever. Interesting, that first fight was in Ross's hometown of Chicago. So into the 8th round we go, and once again Ross sprints out of his corner here and prevents Canzoneri from getting anywhere, not even to the centre of the ring. Ross has fought so sweetly. His hair isn't even messed up at this stage. And really coming back very strongly there with the two-fisted assault from Canzoneri. That's a lovely left hook from Ross. Really picking the pace up now. I suspect Barney Ross would swap all of his boxing ability for one almighty punch. Well, bounced off the ropes there, Canzoneri. Ross once again the busier of the two. And there is a point to prove here. Ross wants to put this one beyond any debate whatsoever. Once again Ross really landing some terrific looking punches there from both hands. And Canzoneri taking everything very well. Confident that Ross can't hurt him, of course. So we come up for round 9 after a hectic 8th, and Barney Ross well in control here, although Canzoneri is still giving it a very good shot. His one hope, I suspect, will be to take Ross out, but Barney, not known as a big puncher, does have a very sturdy chin. by and large, it's been a very clean contest. Very few clinches in this. And once again, Ross there, commanding behind that left hand. Canzoneri forced to trade with him. Once again, the referee pulls them apart. And Tony Canzoneri very flat-footed in comparison. Well, a right there from Canzoneri getting through, and another. And a good left hook as well, catching Barney Ross. And both men hammer and tongs here in the final seconds of round 9. Very close, hard-fought round this. Round 10 it is, and despite Canzoneri's fantastic effort in the 9th, I still thought that Barney Ross had done enough to win it. Well, Tony Canzoneri at this stage, possibly lacking a wee bit of fitness. He's worked very hard in this. And of course, the first thing to go is discipline. It's one thing that Ross will maintain throughout. So Barney Ross then, less experienced, 2 years older. Make that 2 years younger, but still a very decent boxer with an excellent strategy. Well, not the most action-packed round this one, not the cleanest either. Both men though still working very hard. And again, Ross lands a good left-right. Beautiful uppercut left hook there from Ross. Well, what work has been done by the champion here. Good finish by Canzoneri, but is it enough? Round 11 and time is against Tony Canzoneri, the challenger. And Ross once again bouncing on his toes behind that lovely left hand. And Ross's philosophy really is, you hit me once, I'll hit you twice. Canzoneri is still a very dangerous opponent at this stage. Having said that, Ross knows all about Tony Canzoneri, having beaten him before over 10 rounds only, but this one is 5 rounds further. So Canzoneri then has been a championship class for some 7 years. Once again, Ross knocks in a good left hook. So Barney Ross once again does sprint out of his corner. He knows he's got this one sewn up. If he can only stay in control. And control is one thing that Barney Ross is very good at. Good footwork, good handwork, good eye. And Tony Canzoneri, as I said earlier, has been reduced really to looking for one big finishing punch. And so far he hasn't found it. This has been fought at a very good pace, and we are of course in round 12 with 3 more to go. And Ross confident of taking Canzoneri's punch. Tony Canzoneri realising he hasn't got a lot of time left, and he leaps in with a bit of work there. It's been a tough round now for Ross. Not a great body puncher. And this is really where Canzoneri wants it. Three rounds to go then, and as ever, Ross comes sprinting out of that corner, and they immediately go into a clinch. And Tony Canzoneri had a pretty decent round, I thought, in the 12th. What possesses Canzoneri to stand there with his hands down by his waist, his chin up in the air against a master boxer like Barney Ross? Well, Canzoneri once again having a pretty good finish here. And he's drawn Ross into a punch-up, and that's something really that Barney can ill afford. Takes a lovely uppercut on the inside. And this has been a good round for Canzoneri. Penultimate round then, round 14 of the scheduled 15-round contest, and I think Tony Canzoneri had a very good 13th. He drew Barney Ross into a punch-up and came out on top. Ross needs to stick to his boxing. Doesn't really need to take a forward step. He knows that Canzoneri will come looking for him. He can pick him off coming in. Nice punch picking there again from Ross. So who will the judges go for then, the boxer or the fighter? Here we go then, 15th and final round to decide the lightweight and light welterweight championships of the world. Both held by Barney Ross, up against this native New Yorker in Tony Canzoneri, the challenger. Scoring done by rounds, not points. Canzoneri desperate to finish very strongly. In my opinion, Ross just needs to contain him to keep on to his titles. A bit of missing there from both men, but still plenty of ambition left in these two. It's been a lot tougher than the Al Singer fight in 1930 when Canzoneri won the lightweight title on a first round knockout. Not a whole lot left now. In fact, there's the final bell, and that looks like a good win for Barney Ross to retain his titles against a very spirited challenge there from Tony Canzoneri. So Ross then still the champion.